Welcome back to Pina Cucina. Today is the last episode for 2014 and we're going to be making tarts of San Martino. Well, tartini because they're not that big, they're little ones. And they're made from figs, walnuts, almonds, cloves, sultanas, orange peel and other little bits of, but the most important thing is Finicotto, and which is right here. But if you can't find that, you can substitute it for maple syrup, which is close enough because it's a natural sweetener as well. Now, about Finicotto, this is something that we actually make, and it's just fresh grape juice which has been cooked to a third. It's got to reduce to 1/3 whatever you're putting in, and you get this beautiful syrup. Now we start with the figs. We need to take that little stalk off, otherwise it's going to clog your machine, or when you're eating it, it's going to get stuck in your teeth. So just cut that off. It's the tiniest little, hard little bit, like that, because this has got to be minced. Now, if you're using 50 grams of figs, you need 50 grams of almonds and the same of sultanas and of the walnuts. So that's your measure. You can make as many as you like, just to use equal amounts. So all the fruit has got to be minced, like the figs and the sultanas, and the nuts we're going to chop because I don't like them too fine. Now we're going to start mincing the fruit, the figs and the sultanas. You may use a food processor, but I love using this little machine because when I went back to Italy, my cousin still had it and she wasn't using it. So I said, I think I'd like to take it with me. And she said, yeah, sure. And it's just beautiful. I remember my grandma using it. I just think of her every time I do this. Now I'm going to put the sultanas. You can put them straight in. You don't have to wash the machine. Okay, we got the fruit mince is done. So we put it in the pot and we get the rest of the stuff ready. We are going to chop the orange peel as fine as possible. When you peel the orange, make sure you don't get too much pith. That's the white part of the orange. Now we've got the orange peel ready, so we're going to get the cloves. Now you know, just a good pinch of cloves will do. Say about that much in that amount. Now you can put them through the food processor, but I'm going to do it like my grandma used to do it. And she used to get a rock actually. So we're just going to squash it down and just sort of roughly grind it. Oh, this smells delicious. Okay, now we need to chop up the nuts. Now again, I like to have this chopped up coarse, not too fine. That's why I'm not putting through the food processor. So you want to be able to chew into the nuts when the biscuit is made. We're going to put them in with the mince. Now we're chopping the almonds. Again, we roughly chop them. We don't want them too fine. Now you may use the food processor if you like. Some of the good ones today, they do chop really coarse things. So you don't want the almonds or the walnuts to be too fine. You want to be able to chew them in the biscuit. This is why I'm doing it like this. I mean, we've always done it this way, so I'm not about to change. And now they're chopped. Now everything goes together. The orange peel with the cloves go in. I'm going to put a little bit of vanilla essence, roughly about 2 tablespoons. I'm going to put some cinnamon, roughly about 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Now, as you can see, almost everything is in the pot and it's quite dry. So this is why we need the Finicotto or the maple syrup in the case that you can't find Finicotto. So you need to turn the stove on very low and we combine everything with the Finicotto. We never know exactly how much it's going to take because nobody ever measured it. So we have to sort of judge to see how much it's going to take. I'm sure it's going to take a bit more than half of this. And it's just a matter of combining everything. So we always put a little bit at a time. That way we know that we're not going to make it too soft because it's got to be sort of tacky not too soft and not too dry. You know when this is ready, when it's all lovely combined and it just looks like as if it's just one mixture, I'm going to put the tiniest little bit of Finicotto. You know, we used to have this. If somebody had a cough, we didn't go to the doctor when I was a child. We just had Finicotto. And whenever we used to get snow, which was very rare, I only remember it twice in my life while I was there. We used to go and pick up some of the beautiful snow off top of the bush where it was nice and clean. We put it in a glass and then we put Finicotto on it. That was our granita. I think that's where they got it from. And there it is. It's beautiful. It's all together. It looks like it's one mixture. It's not too dry and it's not too soft. It's ready for the biscuit. Okay, now we're making the biscuit. I'm only going to make a small batch, so it's half of whatever I normally do. So it's going to be 3 eggs, some vanilla essence, a couple of teaspoons. I like to get the pure almond essence and we whisk it. Now we need 1 cup of sugar, caster sugar that is, and we add it slowly. Now we're going to add some olive oil because that's what we used to use. We didn't have butter back then. So I have measured here, this is half a cup. So I need to put it in very slowly as it's mixing. Now we're going to add the flour. Now because we don't know exactly how much it's going to take, so it always depends on the size of the eggs. We're just going to measure it as we go along. I'm using self-raising flour, so that's 1 cup. We're going to add it slowly. Now don't have the beaters going too hard, otherwise it's going to go everywhere. So when you're adding a dry mixture, you should always be on low speed. Do the rest by hand because that way we can control it more. I mean, it's got to be able to be rolled out, and I can't tell on the machine. It's a lot easier if you use a sieve when you're doing it by hand. So this is cup number 3. Mix in a little bit at a time. Still a bit too soft. You won't be able to roll this out. It will stick everywhere. Now this is cup number 4. You might not need all of it, so we'll see how we go. I can just remember when my children were little, this is the time that they would come and stick their fingers in and they want to eat the dough like this before being cooked. They never come to help me chop anything. When there's work to be done, they're nowhere to be seen. I'm going to put the rest of this flour onto the board so it won't stick. So I need to knead it a little bit here. So you need to knead this a little bit, otherwise if it's too soft, it's going to stick to your rolling pin. So we need to add a bit more flour. Now make sure you have plenty of flour on the board, otherwise you're going to lose it because it'll stick to the bottom. And it's just a matter of rolling it out. Okay, now we cut it into shapes. Now you mix this up with a little bit more of the dough. You don't throw this out, and just mix it up again until you have finished it all up, because you're going to need it because you've got a lot of stuffing there. I don't think you're going to have any left over, but if you do, you can give it to the kids to play or eat. We'll make them as we go along. That way we'll know how quickly we can fill the tray. So put in about a teaspoon in the center of the mixture. Now we're going to close them up however you like. We used to do them like this, so it resembled the oil lamp we used to have. Now if you find that it won't stick, you can always brush it with a little bit of milk and that'll hold better. Now these are ready for the oven, but they need one more thing. Now we need to put some diavolici. You might know them as hundreds and thousands, but I don't know why they used to call them that. It means little devils. I guess they look very pretty. And there we have it. Beautiful tartini di San Martino. They are ready for the oven. You put them in there at 180 degrees for about 20 minutes or so. And then when you take them out, just let them cool a little because they get quite hot with the minced fruit in there. And then all you need is a coffee. I would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I shall see you in the new year with some new delicious recipes.